Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be running through my April TBR, and you may in fact hear someone snow blowing in the background because we still have, if I look out my window, I'm gonna say at least 6 feet of snow in Newfoundland. There's so much snow. It just keeps snowing and snowing. So I had no choice but to either record while people are blowing away snow or not record at all. But here we go. As I said, this is going to be my April TBR, and it is a little bit late, but it's been a bit of a busy time. And this TBR is I'm gonna talk about something that is related to the pause that I took for the last couple of years. So one of the things that I found really challenging about BookTube, especially as somebody who was trying to kind of keep up with all the things that people were reading and be able to do discussions and be engaged and check out the new books and the backlog of old books, but also at the same time, work full time, have kids, do the things that they needed to do. I felt like I was falling behind a lot of the time, and kind of compounding that was the fact that I am, at my very nature, a mood reader. I will pick things up and put things down. Something will look interesting and I'll want to grab it. And so I was making these very elaborate TBRs because it's, a video that people like to see. People are interested in what you're reading and they want to see what you're going to get to and maybe be able to read along with you and do all that fun stuff. And it was becoming a lot of pressure. And then I found myself not finishing books or not getting to books. And then I felt like I was either letting people down or letting myself down. And it was a very negative kind of cycle that was happening. And so I just stopped recording TBRs, and then I just stopped recording in general. And things were busy, but it was also that feeling of pressure that I didn't like. And I talked about this a really long time ago, so if you're new to the channel, then I'll just kind of rediscuss it briefly. But this was one of the main reasons that I had never monetized my channel, even when the milestone and the option and everything was there, is that I did not ever want it to feel like it was pressure. This will never be a job or a source of income or any of those kinds of things for me. I have a very fulfilling and time-consuming job that I spent a lot of years in school to attain. So, this will always be a hobby, and a hobby that I really, really like. So I wanted to keep it something positive, and it was becoming something that was a lot of pressure. And with this month's TBR, I will show you how I am trying to let go of that pressure and continue being active on BookTube, but also not kind of squeeze into that little box. And how that comes together with an April TBR is that my TBR for this month, I don't remember if it's in frame or not, but there's a giant stack of books on the table beside me. But my TBR for this month is mostly a giant stack of books that I have already started and very few things that are new. I have 2 new books on the TBR, so I will very quickly run through those. And I will do this one first. So this is The Dark Secret, which is book 4 of the Wings of Fire series, which is the middle grade dragon series that my daughter Juliet loves, that I have been reading so I can chat about it with her. I'm having a really great time with them, and I am at book 4. So this is a book that I have not yet started, but that I will definitely read in April, because once I start it, I will sit down and it will take an hour or 2 to get through this. So that one is going to be easy enough. So I have that book. The second book that I have not started and that I will be reading in April is going to be a buddy read. So I haven't talked about the Discord since I came back to BookTube because, everybody's busy. There are 1,000 bookish Discords to join. The Discord that I run feels more like a group chat. There is a group of us that talks frequently. We have become friends over the course of the last 5 years. We would absolutely love for anybody new to come and chat and be there, and I will link it in this video for the first time since I came back. Again, I just don't want to be pushing like another million things for people to join. But if you are someone who is, a little bit more laid back, if you are a little bit less, exuberant, wanting to chat all the time, to have a million conversations flowing, this Discord might be a good place to join, because again, it's just the core group of us kind of chatting about what we're reading, and it's a very friendly, down-to-earth kind of atmosphere. So if you would like to join, this would be a great time, because we are going to do a buddy read, and that is going to be of King Sorrow by Joe Hill. This is the last book that I bought at the bookstore when I went out of town last time. I think we were at a swim meet for my son, so I went to the bookstore while we were there, and I was trying really hard not to buy too many books because as all of us bookish people, I have a lot of books at home that I haven't read. And so I have tried to not necessarily be on a book buying ban, because I know that's not going to happen, but just be more intentional about the things that I buy. So no buying based on lists that people have put up, no buying based on, I saw this book once and I really want to read it. If I know there's something that I want to read immediately, or if it's a new release by an author that I love and I've really been waiting for, I don't know what Pippin's barking at. I'm going to go see. Yes, as I was saying, if it's a book that I really want to read, then yes, I will absolutely pick it up. And that's what happened with King Sorrow. I have only read one book by Joe Hill, and that's The Fireman, but I know a lot of his books have gotten a lot of praise, and I am a huge Stephen King fan. And when I read The Fireman, I felt like there was enough overlap in style and execution that it felt very familiar, while also, obviously being his own unique and independent thing. And so I really wanted to pick up King Sorrow. And we are going to be reading this on the Discord in the second half of April, so probably next week-ish. So if anybody has been looking forward to reading it, if you've read it and you want to talk to people about it, if you want to make some new bookish friends, then feel free to join and you can come along with us as we read King Sorrow. But I'm super excited for this one. Then we come to my giant unfinished stack. So I used to have real complex, as I said, about mentioning the same book 2 months in a row on BookTube, because it felt like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so boring for everybody. They're not going to want to hear me talk about the same things that I've already been talking about. And now I just think, it's fine. There are tons of people that you can watch if you want brand new content and you want something new and exciting and, that you can click on every week. This is going to be a more realistic look at what you read from month to month. So this is my collection of books that I have partially read. The first one is not in this stack because it's my audiobook for the month, and that is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I have been listening to this 35-hour audiobook, and I listened to my audiobooks at 1.35 speed. I don't remember how far that brought it down, but it was not the full 35 hours. And I am presently, I think I have about 15 hours remaining. So I did a 1,500 piece Pokemon puzzle with my son. And now I'm working on a 1,000 piece Terry Pratchett puzzle. And so we'll see how many other puzzles I can make it through before Anna Karenina is over. The Terry Pratchett puzzle has actually been really hard because there's so many faces and I'm trying my best to fit them all together. So maybe it'll take the rest of the book to get through that one. I have no idea, but it's been more challenging than I thought it was going to be. So that is my audiobook and my activity that I'm doing the audiobooks with. The other books that I'm partially through, we have Men at Arms by Terry Pratchett. So I started this in March and I'm at page 18. So I didn't make it very far, but I am excited to read this one. So have to get back to reading Men at Arms. Then I am reading Husky and His White Cat. This is a Dan May novel. If you've ever heard me talk about Heaven Official's Blessing or Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, this is the same style of Chinese fantasy. This one is a series that is about a young man who follows a dark path, becomes basically an evil dictator, and carries out a lot of really harmful things, and wakes up as I believe he's 15 when he goes back in time. So wakes up 15 again and has the option or the choice to change his life and has to decide whether or not he wants to do that or if he wants kind of things to carry through as they have. So this is volume 7 of, I believe, 11. I think there's 11 in total. I'm not 100% sure, but this has been enjoyable for me so far, and I will hopefully continue on with 7. I have 8. These are my sister's books, so I have 8 borrowed from her as well, so I'll have to read that one, then return them and get the next. My shame, I still feel some shame. I mean, I haven't completely gotten rid of shame altogether, and the shame that I have right now is reserved for Empire of the Dawn, which I am at approximately the same place I was when I started new videos in January, and that's page 256. I just have to sit down and do it. Enough people have told me that they like the ending, that they think I'll like the ending, that I believe them. It's just taking the time to sit down and read this book. I think one of the problems is, and this is like a very practical thing that I don't feel like we give enough credit sometimes. I do a lot of, I'm on the go a lot, whether it's going to work, whether it's going to a swim meet, going to a play, driving a kid, waiting for them to finish an activity. When I go and do those things and then I have, 45 minutes of reading time, I am not putting this giant 800-page book in my bag. I'm putting my small book in my bag and then reading that at the pool or the stadium or the theater or whatever. And so I think that's one of the major barriers here. I think I probably should have just gotten this on Kindle and it would already be done, because I could have brought my Kindle to all of those places and then read through it on Kindle and then just had this physical copy for my shelf. So, you know, note to self, next time you're reading a giant book, just get it on Kindle and then, you know, ask for a physical copy for your birthday or something so that I'm not in this situation. But J. Kristoff, I will finish you. Will it be in April? I don't want to make any promises, but I'm going to try my best. The next book that I have been reading is actually this book from university. So I was organizing my bookshelf upstairs, which is where I have all of my classics and educational books, books on literary theory, poetry books, all those kinds of things. And it reminded me that I have this short fiction anthology, and I had to read a variety of short stories. I still have some of them like highlighted in pink from when I was an undergraduate. And I remembered really liking the ones that I had read. And so I looked at the selection, and it's a pretty good selection. This is, you can probably call this preparation for future episodes of Book Jeopardy, but just, you know, rounding out your general literary knowledge. It's nice to read a selection. As these university type books are nice because they give you a selection of what was most influential over a certain time period. And so the selections that end up in here are usually pretty good. And so I was like, you know, there's some authors that I haven't read from that I would like to sample. And so I am reading through now this collection of short stories. So I've read a couple and I'm going to continue. Sometimes when I just have 10, 15 minutes, it's nice to sit down, read a short story. For anybody who likes to write, I think also that short stories, especially the kinds that get put into those sorts of literary anthologies, have a lot to teach, because you're looking at a selection of, you know, the best of the best. Whether we can say that objectively or not is a whole different argument, a whole different video, but it is a selection of authors who have earned their place in the literary canon. And so there is a lot to learn from them. And so reading these short stories, when they are carried out at the highest level, have to handle characterization, language, plot, atmosphere really well, because you want to accomplish so much in such a short number of pages. So I personally think if you are someone who enjoys writing, which I do, the short story is a good place to pick up tips and remind yourself of all the things that can be done with language. So very much enjoying my read through those short stories. Another book that I have not finished, that I have started, is The Remains of the Day, Ishiguro. I started this over Christmas, I think, and then I had forgotten that I started it. And when I was cleaning out my room to look for, I think it was looking for birthday gifts for Juliet, because I stashed them around in my room so she doesn't find them, I found this in a drawer and I said, oh no, I got to page 80 of this book and I was really enjoying it. And I just forgot that I was reading it. So I will hopefully finish this one in April, because I think it'll just take a sitting or two to get through this. And I have, like I said, been really enjoying it. So hopefully I can get to the rest of that one as well. Then we have Dungeon Crawler Carl. The reason that I have not read, there's one reason that I haven't read this book, because I sat down to read the first section and read almost 100 pages in my first little sitting session to read it, because it's very easy to read through and it's really fun. Spoiler alert, I'm really enjoying it. But I am recording a reading vlog and I was so sick, coughing, fluids, etc., that I just, you know, the camera angles and the videos are not always the most flattering, but there is a limit, and I could not record myself doing a reading vlog with all of the things that were happening with my head due to the head cold. So I am feeling better, and I will sit down and record this one and do the reading vlog, because I am enjoying it and I want to be able to finish it and then get on to even more in that universe. The very last book that I have partially read is The Golden Compass. So my friend Colton, who is on Discord and shares a lot of the same literary tastes as me, asked for a book recommendation. I said, oh, pick up the Golden Compass. That was one of the books that he had in his little stack that he had at home. I said, pick up The Golden Compass. I love those books. And then that made me want to take down my folio edition, because I haven't actually read this edition since it was gifted to me. And so then I just started reading it. I don't know if I will finish it, because Colton's done and I was doing other things and I didn't get to keep up with him as he was reading. So I don't know if I will finish it. when you've read books so many times, you can just pick them up and read a couple chapters and kind of remember, reminisce, and put them back down. I don't know if I'll read all the way through or not. I'm going to try to prioritize the books I actually haven't read before. But if I'm feeling sentimental, I may also pick up The Golden Compass and continue to read that one. So there you have it. There is my very realistic TBR, which is a recycling of a lot of the books that were on my January, February, March TBR that I did not get to. A couple of new selections and still lots of fun things to read. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you are a mood reader and a busy person and sometimes your thinking is a bit mumble jumbled, then maybe you will relate to a little bit of this video. But please feel free to tell me what you are reading in April, and I will see you with another video soon. Bye.